ANC. Ace Magashule, viva! Viva! Ace! Ace! Manda! Manda! Down with the white political down! Down! No retreat, no surrender! Sorry, media. You guys can go out taking enough pictures. Guys, the media must go out. Yeah, this guys. Only SABC is allowed. Abut. Guys, open. Abut. Bula. Media, please guys, go out, please. All of you, please. Media out. Thank you, there's enough pictures. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, media. Thank you. Baba, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mzwandile Mbeje, thank you very much indeed. I know you're still there with us. These are the live pictures, of course, of inside the courtroom. Ace Magashule, the Secretary General, has since arrived at court. Look, Mzwandile, as we try to get the Deputy Secretary General online with us, one looks at these pictures, and I asked the question earlier. I said, look, whatever happens now, this will not... it will take a while to get over pictures such as these, and whether it's opposition or whether it's the other faction within the party, if I can call it a faction, will be sitting back and saying, well, your SG or your so-called senior leader, even if he is found not guilty, something about being paraded in the dock will not sit well politically anyway as an individual or anyone. Even if it was just a Thabiso Sithole, your dignity kind of gets lessened a bit once you stand in the dock and face the courts.
Well, Thabiso, I think the other thing really that I guess will not go down well, particularly even with the individual himself. I think as far as I remember, in fact, this is the first Secretary General of the ANC to be charged with acts of corruption like we are seeing now. And it can't be a beautiful picture at all, I guess, particularly to the governing party. Remember, the Secretary General is the engine of the party, and the party that is governing this country. In fact, I was saying earlier when we were chatting, this is the man who led the campaign for the by-elections where, interestingly, the very ANC won them quite overwhelmingly. So a few days later, the Secretary General is in the dock. I remember when the news of the issuing of the warrant of arrest was announced, he was on the campaign trail, and we were able, as the SABC, to get a comment from him to say, so we hear that the warrant of arrest has been issued, so what's your take? Where he basically said, well, so he's been hearing about this for a very long time. So it was not the first time that the issue of warrant of arrest had come. I mean, you'd remember a couple of weeks ago, there was big news that a warrant of arrest had been issued. But of course, it had its own elements, that alone. So it's basically putting Thabiso, the party, in the dock. And this is the party that is governing this country. It's basically in the dock. And it's not a good image, particularly when it comes to the issues of fighting corruption. Mr. Magashule was the Premier of Free State for 10 years. And so when some of the conditions of ordinary people are seen not to have improved, and then people will talk about all these things. But of course, as we must repeat over and over again, he has not been found guilty, and then we will only be able to conclusively say he was wrong if then the court found that way. And of course, it's possible that he will be able to say, and all that has been leveled against me has been allegations, and here I am, I'm proving myself innocent, because he should be able to state his side of the story. Remember, unless you have another version, the first version always wins the day. So we will hear from the Secretary General of the ANC. And of course, politically, it doesn't really look good. And of course, it doesn't do any justice to the governing party itself.
Indeed, Mzwandile. And once again, just to remind yourself, Mzwai, and our viewers, we are, in fact, I've been told that, Mzwandile, we've got on the line the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Ms. Jessie Duarte. Very good morning to you, Jessie. Mzwandile, you're live with us, Mayor Duarte, alongside the political editor here at the SABC, Mzwandile Mbeje. We understand that you wanted to get some clarity this morning with what happened with one of our crossings. Is that correct, ma'am?
Well, not really. I thought that, if I may say, I've been listening to your analysis all morning long. My concern is the SABC is trying to create a position that says that there is a Cyril Ramaphosa and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma factor, when the two people are really working together very well. Let us stick to the facts. This is the Secretary General of the ANC who has allowed the law to take its course. He's presented himself to the Hawks. He's now in court, as he agreed he would do. And we will listen for what the charges are. As far as we know, the facts are that he is being charged in terms of an act that prescribes an oversight perspective over people who are in political power and managers. We are waiting for the details now, and we're looking to hear with very fine ears what the real facts are. Secondly, we disagree with the people who are burning T-shirts. We believe that it is wrong to do so. The ANC will never stop anyone from expressing their points of view. The SG of the ANC is a very popular individual, and of course, people will wish to support him. But support for the SG cannot define itself, either by the media or by the people on the ground, as a willful decision to divide the ANC and to destroy it. That we will not allow. And that many of us will consistently fight to maintain the cohesion of the ANC, and it will be that way. Lastly, if I might just say that it isn't helpful right now to have very pedestrian and simplistic analysis. The ANC, yes, there are divisions, but we are working constantly to overcome those divisions. And when I speak at the press conference with the Treasurer General, not speaking as an individual, I'm speaking on behalf of a collective that had sent me there to speak. And our position is clear. Let the law take its course. Of course, the SG is innocent until proven guilty, and he will defend himself in a court of law. What we need to do is to ensure that while we support him, we do not do so by destroying the very movement that we want to change this country. And radical economic transformation is a national conference decision of the ANC. It does not belong to Carl Niehaus or anyone else. It belongs, not any faction, belongs to the ANC. And the Secretary General of the ANC has to lead us in that process of ensuring that we implement an environment within the economy that is conducive to the restructuring of our economy. So I just wanted to make that point to you because I got very concerned about the kind of pedestrian analysis that's been floating around all morning. If the SG will go to court, we are concerned that this is going to be a long, protracted court case. And of course, that will put us under pressure, but we will manage that pressure within the ANC. Hopefully, we will not see further divisions. The leaders that are right, whatever they wish to wear, the ANC had made a call to the people that we did not wish to see platter. But, people felt differently. That's fine. What we will not accept is ill discipline and burning of the T-shirts of the face of the president. That is the president of the ANC, and he will remain the president of the ANC.
Hi, Mr. Watt. It's Mzwandile here, Mzwandile Mbeje here. So basically, I think we get the point you're making about the ANC trying to unite itself. But having been part of, having witnessed how the issue of going to Nasrec was handled, and looking at the people attending the Secretary General's court case right now, you can't help but think that it's those people who had supported Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. We know they work very well with President Ramaphosa currently, but the fact that it's those people who had a different view from that which was held by those who were supported by the president, people would draw their own inferences and conclusions to say so clearly, perhaps they still feel they did not win the day. Maybe this is the opportunity to mobilize. What's your comment to that?
That line has dropped, Zwei. We'll try and reconnect that line. Mzwan Lembeche is still on the line with us, political editor here at the SABC. We were anyway speaking shortly to Ms. Jessie Duarte, Deputy Secretary General of the ANC. As you can see there on the right, we're trying to call back Ms. Jessie Duarte. Maybe Zwandile, you can ask that question once again. Ms. Duarte, are you back with us, ma'am?
The line dropped long ago. I did hear the question. Would people not, if they see the people there are the people who supported Zuma, do not the people who supported her believe it's time to mobilize? You know, I think that is stretching something way out of its own proportion. Many of the people there were not supportive of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. A few, yes, I agree. But, you know, it is completely incorrect to say that the people there are mobilizing against or for the SG. I even heard you say that people want him to be the future president and so on. Things don't work like that in the ANC. The branches are 4,800 branches, 1.4 million members will make that decision at the appropriate time. May I also just add that the SG has the right to go to the Integrity Commission immediately after this. He has been once. He probably will go again. So I think there shouldn't be any doubt that he himself is very clear that the law must take its course, both the processes within the ANC and the processes within the state. I don't think we should try and create an Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa dynamic which does not exist.
I think maybe let me come back in here. The issue we had, I think initially your call came from a report or something you heard on this channel asking, or that happened whilst the burning of the T-shirts of the president on air. We have that clip for you. I'd like for you to listen in, and this is where some of our talking points in our analysis has been coming from. Let's listen to Ms. Duarte before you continue.
Cyril Ramaphosa and his colleagues must move out of South Africa, not only out of the ANC. They are here to destroy this country. Now today we are taking a radical decision that Ramaphosa must step down, or the ANC must immediately call as soon as possible an NGC which will remove Ramaphosa. Because all this is Ramaphosa's shenanigans. It is Ramaphosa creating this. Now this is a symbol of showing that in the ANC, Ramaphosa is no longer welcome. Thank you very much. Sepo Davis from Puto.
You see, Ms. Duarte, that is where I think you heard, and it was not from one of our reporters, but rather your members, ANC members who are out there.
It's very easy for you to go in that route and say it's not you making the analysis. But it is Zwandile making the analysis over and over again. Yes, there are people in the ANC who would very much like to see the president of the ANC resign and step down. But that is not the position of the ANC. And it is not the position of the structures of the ANC. One must ask you, who exactly are those people and whose mandate are they talking on? I recognize them as the ANC Youth League in the Free State, and they have said this many times over again. That is their perspective of one group of people. You cannot accord that perspective to the entire ANC. That is not right.
We have been on the ground. Sorry, Mr. Duarte.
That is not a view on the ground. That is the view of a person who was speaking in front of a group of ANC Youth League from the Free State members. So do not say it's a view on the ground.
Okay, maybe let me sorry for disturbing you. What I wanted to say, Mr. Duarte, is that we were on the ground in Bloemfontein with our reporters, both Pali Samwete as well as Thabiso Khatebe. Those are interviews that they've been doing on the ground the whole morning. We have not instructed them on our side in Johannesburg to get those interviews, but maybe let's bring in our political editor, Mzwan Lembeche, in the conversation. Zwandile, we've heard what the Deputy SG has just said.
Oh, yes, and I hear what
I can't hear him.
Mr. Duarte has said. But, okay.
I don't
Mr.
hear
Duarte,
him.
can you hear me now?
They keep dropping me.
Okay, so she can't hear me.
Hello?
But Tabi, so basically what is happening is that
Stopping me and hoping I would.
the DSG of the
Oh,
ANC
wait.
is basically
Hello?
saying those events that are happening don't reflect what the ANC leadership wants. But the fact of the matter is that what people are saying on the ground and what is beamed across the nation is what the South Africans are watching. People have seen people wearing ANC T-shirts, banning the T-shirt of the ANC president. So there is a powerful image. So, and then you can't simply ignore that and say it's a view of one individual. So people have said on national television, the president of the ANC must step aside because he is selling out this country. And people are seeing that, and that is a powerful image. So it's not really a creation of us. We are analyzing events that we are seeing, the events that we are witnessing. We have just seen the leaders of the ANC who were on this other side going to Nasrec. So we can't simply ignore that now. So I think I understand what Mr. Duarte is trying to say, but the facts on the ground also speak for themselves.
Yeah, if you did not get him, Zwandile, if you did not hear him, I'll just summarize what I just said. Oh, yes, you can hear him. Mr. Duarte, your answer to Zwandile, as he's explained what this stance currently is on this channel.
Respect his right to have his view. I insist that it is not a general proposition in the ANC nationally that the president of the ANC should step aside or go. It is that group that you are talking to in the Free State, and you are making, and Mzwandile is insisting that it is a view on the ground. The ground is massive. The ground is huge. All I want to say to you is that we in the ANC are very determined that we will unite our people. We don't agree with people burning the T-shirts of our president on the ground. We accept that support for the SG is required and a necessary thing, and we believe that those supporting the SG are correct to do so. They have a right to do so. Similarly, there are voices that don't support the SG. What we hope to do is to come out of this, discuss and make sure that the ANC remains intact, and hopefully we will have that from the real ground of the ANC, the 1.4 million members who are not there today, as well as the 4,800 branches who need to discuss what is going on. It is a crisis, of course. It's the first time that the Secretary General of the ANC has been taken to court in this form. I'm hoping that we will stick to the facts, wait for the outcome of what, and hear what the charges actually are, and proceed from there and allow the law to please take its course. We can all support the SG, but we must allow the law to take its course. And really, I want to thank Mzwandile for his analysis, but I don't have to agree with his analysis. Thank you very much.
Let me bring in the political editor, Mzwandile Mbethu. You've heard the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, there, Ms. Jess Duarte, speaking to us. What do you make of that? I mean, we were discussing it earlier that, look, it would be interesting to get perspective from the ruling party or the ANC. Well, there we have it.
Well, Tabi, so if I was in the position that the Deputy Secretary General is, I understand why she would respond in the manner in which she is, because she needs to really make sure that the image of the ANC is kept. She needs to make sure that people are assured that the ANC is not divided. Yes, she has agreed or admitted that they are facing a crisis, but the fact of the matter is that they will have to do much more to unite this ANC, because at this stage, what we are witnessing, it may not represent every member of the ANC or every supporter of the ANC, but it's a view which is shared by some out there, and those people are making it out. They are making it very public, and you can't simply ignore it. And the ANC itself normally tells us that as much as it relies on its membership, 1.4, she has said, but the ANC relies on the supporters in the main, because it's not only 1.4 million people who vote for it to get into power. It's the South Africans, even perhaps those who don't support the ANC. So it's very important how they manage this, because if South Africans who vote this ANC into government feel that the very same ANC is not sure whether it wants its leader or it doesn't, so it will create so much doubt. And I think the ANC has really got its work cut out for it going forward.
As why this is what we're going to do. In particular, looking back at what the conversation we just had with the Deputy SG, saying that, you know, it's just to show that it's not a selective group of people who we're speaking to. We, as the SABC, have not directed our reporters to speak to any particular people and ask them to say particular things. Maybe just to put in perspective, some leaders, senior leaders of the ANC who are at court right now, spoke to our reporters as well. And this is what they had to say.
We have a permit to be here. A permit was applied for and was given. Now we're told that initially 20 people were to be allowed inside the court. And then later 15 people were going to be allowed. Now we're told only 15 people only 5 people are going to be allowed. That is unacceptable. Secondly, we've got a barbed wire that separates our people from the stage. We have asked the police to remove that barbed wire. As I said earlier, we've got permission to be here. There's no reason for them to panic and attempt to exclude the people from the leadership. So that is the matter that we are raising very, very sharply. And we are insisting that the media must be allowed inside court, because we have heard that they're trying to exclude the media from coming inside court.
And then the other issue, there was an instruction that today nobody should come and support the SG. He himself, in fact, said, you know, he's not encouraging people to come here, but you are here anyways.
There's no such decision of the ANC that nobody must come and support the SG. There is no such decision. I'm a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, and no such decision was taken by the ANC. These people who are here, most of them, if not all of them, are members of the ANC. I'm a member of the ANC. I'm a member of the National Executive Committee. I'm here in my right as a member of the African National Congress, not just as an individual. And nobody is going to deny me the right to be here today and wearing ANC colors. I fought for these colors.
Oh, yes.
I took up arms for these colors. I went to prison for these colors. So no one is going to stop me from supporting the SG of the ANC in my ANC colors.
The point that we are here to emphasize, one is that the SG of the ANC is innocent until proven guilty. And secondly, our support for him is aimed at emphasizing the unity of the ANC, so that whatever happens now and hereafter, the unity of the ANC must remain sacrosanct. And thirdly, we are here to underscore human and comradely solidarity, because we fought together for freedom and we remain together in the trenches for the total emancipation of our country. Whatever happens during this period, what we cannot afford is to take our eyes away from the agents to speed up the radical economic transformation of our country, to ensure that the vast bulk of productive assets in South Africa are transferred to the hands of the majority. So in the course of all of this, we must not be derailed, and we will not allow ourselves to be derailed.
The problem that I'm having, the case coming at this time, it's targeting the SG. of the ANC. And you can't expect members of the ANC and all of us to sit back and just fold their arms. We have to support the SG. Remember, the SG is not an SG of individual. It's an SG of the masses of the people of this country. And that's why you see them in numbers here. That's why I'm here. I'm supporting the SG because I elected him. I put my mark in Nasrec. And there's no way that I cannot support the SG.
Yes, we are demanding Cyril Ramaphosa and his colleagues must move out of South Africa, not only out of the ANC. They are here to destroy this country. Now today we are taking a radical decision that Ramaphosa must step down or the ANC must immediately call as soon as possible an NGC which will remove Ramaphosa, because all this is Ramaphosa's shenanigans. It is Ramaphosa creating this. Now this is a symbol of showing that in the ANC Ramaphosa is no longer welcome.
Well, as you can see, those are the pictures. Mzwandile Mbethe, as we continue this conversation, these are pictures, these are the sentiments on the ground in Bloemfontein by ANC supporters. And as you can see, some of them senior leaders within the ruling party, certainly not the sentiments of either myself or yourself as the political editor of the SABC or the reporters that are there covering the story for the SABC. But let's bring you back in now, since I think we'll put that matter to rest. It's about to begin. We've been waiting in there. What could be going through that man's head? I know we're not psychologists or psychiatrists. We can't read what's going into somebody's head, but a lot must be going through sitting in the dock like that.
Well, it's not a happy space. It's certainly not a happy space, and but I guess, Tabi, so if you insist that there's nothing wrong that we have done, if you are certain that there's no corrupt activities that you have been engaged in.
Thank you, Mr. Donation.
Apologies for the